Hey, I'm your host, Wes.
And I'm your host, Scott.
Come on in and grab a seat.
Because you're hanging with us at the Barbershop.
We do. We had
That did not carry over last time. It's just us, or me. We had the girls here.
It's just us, you, me, him, them.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
But,
if we don't iron it
out. It's all good. It's all good.
Okay, so I had the strangest thing happen today when I was sitting here doing other work.
Oh, I got a story for you, too.
This is the funny thing. So generally, as a retail guy, working with the public, it's part of your thing, right? So sitting here, now keep in mind, for those of you who know where we are, Bobcaygeon, Ontario, Canada, we are a year-round population of about 3,000 people. This big pickup truck pulls up out front, and the guy comes in, and he's like, "Excuse me, do you sell card shuffling machines here?" And I said, no, sir, I don't. And he's like, would you happen to know somewhere that does? And I said, honestly, your best chance, if anything, I said, as strange as this is going to sound, the hardware store?
What about Pick and Save?
Oh, I never even thought about him. But I said to him, maybe the hardware store. And then he says to me, completely straight-faced, "Is there a Walmart in town?" Then I'm like, we are way too small for a Walmart.
Isn't that crazy?
Your closest Walmart's a 45 minute drive.
You didn't see his plates or the dealership around his plate?
No,
you didn't pay enough attention to see how far into the city he was?
Well, no, because I was literally sitting in this chair, so by the time he pulled up and the stuff that's on the deck, I can't see past it. So,
all right, my quick story for this morning.
Yeah.
So, decided to go into Tim Hortons.
On your way in.
With my approved mask on.
Yeah.
I get in there. There's a guy in front.
Yeah.
Has a Columbia Technical ski mask on.
Ooh.
So not approved.
Sure.
I have a guy in front of me, t-shirt over nose.
The one that he's wearing, right?
Yep. And the guy behind me comes in, no mask. And I'm like, well...
One of these things is not like the
and
other.
I'm like, man, you three should have just all right?
Did you guys all come together?
Why use if you don't have an appropriate mask, there's the perfect opportunity for you to use the drive-through.
Yeah, you can't really argue with that logic.
Chose not to.
No, of course not.
So, Wes.
Scotty.
Another episode of Cold Ones.
We're back.
Cerveza. Por favor. We've got a guest.
Yeah, I want to say a big barbershop welcome to a good friend of the show, Pat Chalmers. Hello, sir.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Shout out to the end of the table.
All the way down, I guess is down right about...
Right.
There he is.
Yeah. Awesome. So, we've been talking... a few more episodes, and we've been talking about getting another episode of Cold Ones, and Pat has certainly reached out and messaged a couple times that he would be more than happy to come and sip some beers with us. And
funny how that enticement goes.
Yeah. I mean, we've had a few people, and it worked out well that Pat was the first one available to come down. And the other ones are probably like, you never reached out to me. We like Pat better.
I just wait for when this episode gets out, because no doubt, Pat, you'll share it with your friends, and there'll be people that we know. They'll be like, "You didn't tell me there was beer involved."
Yeah. And we had been saying that before the summer snuck away.
That's right. We still technically have a week and a half?
Sure.
By the calendar.
Yes. And we thought Cerveza would be the way to go.
I agree.
Because, it's a great summertime beer.
Hey, before we get going, I just want to throw out a special, extra special thank you to our recording partner, editor, chief computer wizard, and etching guru himself, Andy, on making us these wonderful Hangin at the Barbershop Cold Ones branded samplers so that we can be even more immersed in the show.
And by all means, if you want a set of beautiful Cold Ones, I don't even know what the volume is on these.
I'd have to check the box.
Let us know, and we can set you up at a low price.
Yeah.
So I'd also talked in weeks gone by that there was something else. If we talked about Mexican style beers or Coronas or whatever, that there was something I wanted to talk about, and I didn't want to spoil it in that.
Was it about how I didn't get my trip to Mexico last year?
No.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about the 3 reasons why they serve Corona beer with lemon or limes.
Oh, yeah. You did mention that.
Because we also talked about what I thought about Corona.
I figure it has something to do with the scurvy.
Well, quickly. Now, do you have any old wives' tales, Pat, about why do you stick a Corona or a lime in your Corona neck bottle?
No, actually, I don't.
You just swill it back like a man.
Well, I don't drink Corona, really, so I think the last one I've had was like, I don't know, I was 19 maybe.
Holy jumpins.
So that's over 20 years.
And here we are, forcing you to have one.
Wow.
Oh, so back in the day, you were not a lime sticker, you were just a drinker.
Yep.
So this is, again, this fallacy or whatever it is, this was always my understanding of why. So it's sanitizing a bottle. In most cases, you drink beer straight from the bottle without using a glass. Therefore, one of the most common explanations for putting a slice of lemon or lime in a Corona bottle is to disinfect its opening.
Really? And then you go and screw that whole thing up by shoving your big old greasy thumb on top of when you turn it upside down.
So initially, the manufacturers poured Corona beer into recycled bottles, which were not disinfected at the time. Plus, storing in warehouses led to dust accumulation on the flasks. In such conditions, bartenders needed to use a citrus wedge to sterilize the bottle top. Thanks to a high dose of citric acid, the fruit prevented bacterial growth. Additionally, Mexico had low-quality drinking water for a long time. Since it was one of the primary beer ingredients, the citrus purpose was to kill pathogens, microorganisms in the water. Nowadays, drinking water goes through filters and purified before it ever hits the beer bottle.
I will buy all of that.
Number 2.
Oh, my God. Wait, is there a choice or is it all 3? It's
all 3.
It's all 3. Okay. All right.
Improving the beer taste.
Isn't that pretty subjective?
Yeah. So back in the days, brewers used steel beer cans, which occasionally resulted in a sharp metallic beer flavor. Adding a lime piece to enhance the taste prevented wasting freshly opened beer cans. As I've already mentioned, the habit of drinking beer with a lemon or lime has remained a tradition in Mexico. Plus, in these parts, it's popular to add a dash of salt into the beer. That way, the workers can easily prepare an alternate...
Big word.
Oh, dear. Yeah. Or a beer margarita when taking a break. So, again...
I don't know if it was like at your place, but my parents, my mother particularly drank draft beer to the day she died. Draft beer always had salt in it.
A little bit to take the foam off, right?
I never understood what or
why. I thought it dealt with the head.
Well, I thought we just learned this year you got to break the foam out of the thing.
Yeah. And then the third reason is citrus is a marketing trick.
I guess so.
So one theory is the bartender puts a lemon or a lime in a Corona beer because it's a way of serving it, is a part of the company's marketing strategy. Most people associate citrus with beaches, the sun, and the sea. So it just makes it feel like you're on vacation because you couldn't get away.
Well, fortunately for all of us, we are not unequipped, and I know it's not fresh, but in a pinch it will do. And in fact, we talked about this before we decided to do Cervezas, that if we did concentrate, it would give us a better measure of control because there's no differentiating the wedge size
and how you're going to squeeze it in there,
right?
Or whatever.
So I mean, if we use a approximately the same amount of concentrated lime.
Here, are you a lime guy or are you not a lime guy, Pat?
I'm a lime guy.
So there you go. You're going to be a lime guy.
I am absolutely a lime guy.
I'm willing not to put lime in mine.
And you're going to go it alone.
I can.
Is that your way of saying I don't want the lime juice?
I'll put lime juice. The only one I put lime, to be honest, and I've had all these beers.
The stinky one.
Is the Corona. Is the only one. And I would tell you, I've also had the lime in the Chihuahua.
Okay.
And it made it delicious.
So we talked, I don't think we've actually mentioned this when we were recording before, but like maybe Pat, maybe you did this. Remember was a couple of years ago. That's more than a couple of years ago now when Bud Light Lime was the big popular summer beer. All the big companies were getting into adding the lime in the can or the bottling
ahead of
process.
time.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, then I guess that's a failed.
Yeah.
That's a wasted comment.
Now, what is your preference, Pat, when you're drinking at home or on a hot summer's day after cutting the grass? What do you reach for first?
Usually it's just Sleeman's Draft.
Right.
Um,
Not Honey Brown, just their regular.
yeah.
There
Just
you go.
their
Is that
draft
the original
Yeah, the original draft.
blue top?
No.
Well,
That's
it shows you how much I know.
that's the Sleeman's Clear 2.0.
Okay, well then. See, I remember Sleeman. Oh my God! Back in the early '90s, when the Sleeman Brewery had just started up again after being defunct for 100 some odd years, and it was like true. We didn't call them craft breweries back then. We called them micro,
Right.
and they were still a true micro back then in the '90s. So, haven't really had it since.
All right. Are you gonna get your lime?
Yeah, I'm
in?
gonna. Let's do it up. Let's do some lime here. So I've come to the through the process of barroom science. We're going to go with a half cap full of concentrated lemon juice per sample. So here we go. Oh, see, it's got a corrugated thing. So we're gonna go to the first corrugation.
Sure.
That'll make it
very
a little
scientific.
Bit, there we go. First corrugation, and in it goes. Bloop, and and in it goes.
Now, again, in passing, we certainly talked about when I was cracking these open, and I got to the Corona, and I cracked it open, and out of those 4 beers, that was still the one with that strongest kind of, I don't know, it wasn't very complimentary to them the last time, but it's a sour or...
I'm sorry. You were not very complimentary.
Well, this time I'm trying to be, kind and polite because I'm going to rate their beer with other people.
Right.
So, but when I have my own opinion, when we were just talking about their product, when I opened it on the long weekend, I wasn't very complimentary.
So right off the hop, I can tell you instantly, have a look at yours and now have a look at mine. So
Yep.
the concentrated lime juice has definitely changed the opacity of all of them.
And again, it is a... Oh, put lime in mine. Just give it to me.
Yeah.
Pass it over, Pat. Peer pressure.
Man, if you don't put lime juice in your beer, you're a wimp. No comeback? Like, what are you, like 10? Nothing? Concentrating.
I'm concentrating on the concentrate.
Ladies and gentlemen, he can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time.
Just barely. All right. Done. Okay, so do you want to bring up the pictures? We'll talk about the
All right,
beers
let's do it. So we are...
this evening...
Where are we going first,
So,
sir?
it'll be Old Dog.
So we're staying right here in the village of Bob Cajun, our local brew house, Old Dog Brewing Company. Unfortunately, I could not get
very seasonal for them. So it was a summer
time.
season. They did one, and of course, they called their Mexican lager Chihuahua. And we had the opportunity to drink that one right there at the pub in our crockery steins, and they squeezed the lime in for us.
Yeah, it's
very
wonderful.
good. Enjoyed it.
Stuff.
Number 2 today is going to be the Standby Corona.
What? Oh, standby. I did not move that. Okay, there we go. Corona. There we go.
So it's one everybody loves to hate.
World famous.
Yeah.
For good or for bad.
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah.
Number 3 today is going to be Riverhead. So that's out of Kingston.
Now, do you have profiles for all of the beers or just the geographical origins? You're usually good on the beer profiles.
Like a little diggy. I got a little diggy on everything.
Good. Okay,
everything
good.
but Old Dog. And then our final one, again from our hometown brewery,
our old friends over at the Fenland Falls Brewing Company,
have got a Mexican style lager as well.
All right, and for the first time, no, that's not true. That's a lie. I was going to say for the first time, I'm super excited to to do this, but that's not true because I like drinking with you any day of the week. And it's awesome to have a third person come in and give us that. Oh my God, someone who can maybe do math better than me when it comes to talent.
Well, this is, I mean, as I said, when we did the seltzers with the girls, Pat. 4 voices really muddied the water on what was really, second and first. And it's like, because I think 2 of them had 2 first place, right? This one was my favorite one, and it was Michelle's favorite one. And then this other one was Wes's and Kim's favorite one. So then you had to decide, well, which one, got the most second place votes. So we figured with 3 people, it won't be nearly as confusing, right? It should be clear. But, so yeah, again, unfortunately, we're going to start with Old Dog, which has no lingo on it. So, I can't tell you how fabulous it is and what wonderful hops he's using, but, definitely, check them out. They're doing great stuff down there, and he'll have some new seasonal stuff on tap for sure. So
yeah, let's do it.
Gentlemen.
So, all right, my friends, to the old dogs in the room.
I don't taste the lime.
Not enough.
Oh, no.
Well, we're there now.
Can't change it up now.
No.
Science states. So isn't that funny? One single lime wedge
makes that much of a difference.
Gave a pint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Way more flavor, and tossing the lime into the cup than half a cupful of concentrate. We're not sippers here, Pat.
Half a cup we'd have noticed. At a half a cup, you'd have been drinking lime juice.
Do you get it better at the bottom end?
I did.
There you go.
So it's a little heavier. So I have the. I wouldn't say it's an advantage or a disadvantage, but since Chihuahua was available in cans, I went out and bought a bunch of cans, and so I've been drinking quite a bit of this lately because I am predisposed to say that I do like this one.
Yes.
I drank it on my mini vacation, and I drank it sort of at the our August long weekend party. So I can tell you already that this one will likely rate fairly high for me.
I like the fact that it's still a low
alcohol content.
Yeah, so I mean, it means you can drink more of them on a hot summer day. That's sort of that idea of coming back to it and drinking another can, because we've talked a lot about these other high alcohol volumes. And it's like, man, how do you have 2 7.8,
mm-hmm. Especially if it's, and this is the thing, this is the trap, is when you find, a good example is when I was at Quails at the end of our trip, and I picked up a couple of IPAs that were like a 7% IPA. And as you know, I'm not a big ale fan, but of these 2 IPAs, I found one of them to be like really, really tasty. Well, it's 7%, so by the time I've had 2, I'm like, do I need a nap?
Yeah, right. And this is the thing. And I mean, lots of people are talking about that adjective of crushable.
Is that the word now?
Crushable. We've seen it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right? Or different takes on it, but that you can drink it fairly quickly, or you can take it and you can throw it back, and it's not like because there's
crushable. Please use responsibly.
Yeah, exactly. What'd you think, Pat?
I thought it was a very smooth beer. Like you guys said, it is crushable. Like I could have downed that real quick and and had another.
I'm ready for another. Exactly. I think that's always.
But it's like I didn't feel there was any bitterness or anything that.
What did we? Sorry, did you say what the ABV on this one?
I actually did not. It is which was the lowest. It's 3.5.
3.5 ABV. So that is our lowest one. And contrary, we're going to go up to how high are we going tonight?
5.1.
5.1 ABV. Interesting.
And of course, it is those. And again, that before we did the concentrate, it was fairly clear.
Yeah. Yeah. This was. It was pretty, like, really, really clear.
Yeah, I would say, like, right, it and the Corona were very similar, and then maybe the Riverhead was maybe a little lighter, and then obviously Fenland with how they do theirs very often has a very opaque,
it's cloudy
finish.
Man, I'm looking at it now and I'm like, what's going on?
It's so interesting too, and I think too you unless you're, I don't know, I don't drink. When I drink it out of a can,
you don't notice.
No,
you don't notice,
right?
It's for sure you don't notice.
One of the guys at work had talked about Sparkly Puff, which is Flying Monkeys.
I'm sorry.
Right. We've had Flying Monkey, which is they do.
We have,
super graphic cans.
Oh yeah,
all their
time,
stuff has fun names. So they've got one called Sparkly Puff. It's got this big black cat with laser beams shooting out of its head.
Oh, so it's quite literally named after a Pokemon.
Sure,
because that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, and it's a double IPA, and it's 10.
10%.
Yeah. So, right, you
get down in a malt liquor.
You sit up for the first one. Anyway, so I get one because he's like, oh, it wasn't bad. So I'm like, I'll try it.
Yeah.
And I pour it unfiltered.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look at the flowies in that. And, you know, if I had just drank it out of the can, I would have went... But I would never thought about it. As soon as you pour it in that cup and you have that visualization of...
It changes you wonder, though, like, you know that you're predisposed to certain things over years of, like, oh, I know I like this.
Yep.
But when you see it, if you're already like, no, like, for example, like we just said, the Fenland stuff is typically more cloudy. Is that off-putting? To your own, like, are you tricking yourself?
You're
like,
subconscious.
I know it tastes great, but the look of it has now influenced what I think it tastes like.
Yeah, and I think too, if you're more sophisticated, or you have a wider palate, I think as you get into Belgians, a lot of Belgians are cloudy.
Yeah.
But
Belgian.
I drink Belgians?
Unfiltered Belgian Chimay. We've talked about this before on the show. Chimay, which is a Belgian beer, is made by these monks who live in a monastery, like literally made in a monastery. Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah. So that wasn't too bad. But as I say, right, enjoyable. I've enjoyed that since day one. Like having that first, and good memory beer, because that was the first day we had our Steins, and we sat down and we had a couple.
Oh, that's so true. So true.
Right, it's good memory beer. That's a good beer memory, Wes.
You want to talk about beer memories? So I asked, if you followed the show, Pat, you know that I bombed on this one because, Scott's a horrible guest. He's a great co-host, but he's a terrible guest.
And he looks at me, he's like, do you have any good beer memories? I'm like, nope.
So I'm going to start off with, were you always a beer drinker right from the beginning, or did you? Because to me, I think of beer as like coffee. It's one of those things where you have to grow to appreciate it.
I think I've always been a beer drinker.
Sure.
I don't think I was really much into the alcohol, like liquor, so to speak, until later in my teenage years. And then
if you're anything like us, there's probably some peer pressure there.
I think it was more the fact that I ran out of beer and wanted to keep on drinking.
Right. Seldom too. Now,
kind of drink whatever.
Did you grow up in Lindsay?
No.
So where are you originally from?
Are you allowed to say that?
Dad was in the military, so I moved around a lot.
Right.
So,
did you tell this before? Did I know this?
I don't think so.
I don't think I knew this. Funny, we could have spent some time talking about that.
So moved around a lot.
Yeah.
So again, hung out, lived on base, I assume?
For most of the time,
right.
Yeah.
So you'd hang out with other...
Is there one place that is more, like, if you had to say, like, this is where... I know a lot of people, they sort of consider, like, their high school years as, like, that's home because that's where all my friends are. Having been around a base or two in my life.
No, I don't think I do.
No, really? Can you go through, like, short list, like, the places you've been?
We went from Trenton.
Sure.
Suffield.
Yeah.
Goose Bay.
Oh, yeah, you've really been all over then.
And then Borden.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So in hanging out with other base brats...
That is the appropriate term.
Yeah. So, I mean, you went from little town to fairly big town. Was the idea of just finding somebody that dad didn't keep track of their beer as well? Or could you guys, as you got closer to 19, could you guys get served underage? Or would you dare?
I would imagine in Suffield there was a lot of drinking. If you've been to Suffield.
When I was in Suffield, I was only like 4 till...
Oh, I take that.
Yeah.
I take
till like 10.
So when you were like 16, 18, 19, where were you at?
Borden.
I
was in Borden.
So basically,
you're 15 minutes away from Barrie.
So I mean, is that the ability to go in and get served underage, or was it impossible?
No, I don't think it was.
You weren't doing
possible. We weren't really doing it. If
you were a good kid,
maybe. Like, obviously, we went out to our parties and all that.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But yeah, I'd say as I joke, I was started as a beer drinker because I could get served at the beer store in Coboconk before I could get served at the liquor store, and I much preferred liquor, but had to drink beer because of the choice of where you could go shopping. But yeah, I find it interesting. And you would have said you've been a beer drinker longer, and then
moved into liquor later
in life as an adult, as preference.
I think it was more just the fact that once I turned 14, I was able to have one beer with Dad.
Oh, that's really cool.
And that's how I started off with just being in beers.
That's really cool. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, so responsible use of alcohol was probably encouraged right from the beginning then.
Yep.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yep.
I, on the other hand, could not have nothing. I had to steal it from them.
At the end of the day, we just didn't have it at our house. So, that's always, it's funny, right?
Oh, you would definitely the peer pressure.
Yeah.
The responsibility of drinking went out the window when I went to college.
That's fair. First, away from home, the rules don't apply.
Yeah.
Okay, so beer number 2 is the Corona. So classic and authentic Corona Extra is an easy to enjoy beer that enhances life's meaningful moments. Beer memories. Special and unique flavors defines us and how we express ourselves. Corona is approachable, easygoing, and confident and timeless.
Excellent.
The unmistakable color, the one-of-a-kind taste, and the unparalleled flavor, as if its Mexican heritage, makes Corona one of the most recognizable and widely enjoyable beers in the world.
All right.
We'll see. So 4.6, gentlemen.
4.6, yeah. So this is world famous, and I have a good Corona story when we're done here.
Smells like Corona.
It does. It absolutely smells like Corona. It's unmistakable, but I don't find it offensive. Yep, that's okay. So here's the thing. The biggest thing for me right off the top, and it's not the smell, it's the difference in the bubbles. It's more bubbly.
Right.
And I would say that I generally like a little bit more carbonation in my beer, so I think that's okay.
You're lucky your wife's not here.
It's the bubbles.
In the back of my throat, she struggles with carbonation.
So Kim and I we're in Cuba. It's our very first time in Cuba. We're at the same resort where we got married. So you've been there.
So this is your Corona story?
Yeah.
Nice.
And you've been to this resort, Scott. So we're getting married, and or we're not getting married. Sorry, it's our first trip together in our first year together, and we're looking for stuff to do. So it's like, if you go over to the beach bar, there's some daily activities. So one day it would be like target shooting with an air rifle, and the next day it would be archery or something. So we go in. And I see on the counter, there's a bucket and there's Coronas in there. And I'm like, I'll take a Corona. And he's like, I'm sorry, sir. I have to charge you for those. And I'm like, oh. And so Kim is like, oh, no, don't do that. Because if we got to pay for it, it's an all-inclusive trip. He doesn't want to pay for it. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. And I say to the guy, well, how much is it? And he's like, Juan peso. And I'm like, I'll take a dozen. And he looks at me and he's like, I only have those 4. I'm like, then I'll take all 4.
So, were they running a promotion, or did they have something left?
It was what they had left. So, I mean, there was still somewhat of a supply chain at that point.
Yes.
Now, this is 2013.
Now, I've had a bucket of beer before, and either they were Sol or they were Corona.
Yep.
And I mean, sitting across from my beautiful wife in Daytona, Florida, staring at her over a bucket of beer, and man, they were delicious that night.
I'm sure they would be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. Now, you were in Daytona. You were there for a NASCAR event?
Yeah.
What month is that?
March?
Summer? Oh, spring.
No, it's cold at home.
Yeah, so like early spring. Yeah.
It's good. But yeah. That was not my favorite beer.
So just as I was predisposed to like Chihuahua, you were predisposed not to like Corona.
I think, and the smell has some of it. I don't like the aftertaste. I don't know. But as I was saying, to tell this story about the TikTok uses Corona, right?
Yeah,
so I think I've talked about this, but right, George is big into TikTok there, Pat, and
isn't she like a TikTok star now?
I don't think she's been.
She's a star in your world.
She hasn't been famous lately.
No, but she's still famous to you.
Yeah. And so you swill the neck out of the Corona.
Oh, right.
And you put a shot of tequila in it, and then a shot of grenadine, and then a little bit of orange juice, and then you do the flip over. And they're calling it a tequila sunrise, and it's not bad. We've done it a couple times, and I think it makes the
just
Corona
to clarify. Scott says it's not bad.
Yeah.
Wes tasted it.
But he doesn't like tequila.
Right.
But I thought the tequila made my Corona taste better.
Yeah. So I guess the tequila made my Corona taste bad.
It does sound interesting. Listen, I would try it.
Bubbles coming back.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be relevant as a parent, Pat. I'm just trying to be relevant. Whenever they want you. Eventually, right? 2 girls or a girl and a boy?
For me, girl and a boy.
So eventually that little girl's going to ask you to have a terrible drink, and you'll do it because you just want her to love you. Be like, Daddy'll do anything, sweetheart. Whatever you want. They're still young too, right?
More than happy to share this experience with you.
You just wait until they're 17 and think you're shit on the bottom of their shoe.
Oh, boy. Hey, we've all been there.
Oh, bud. I mean, she's already forgotten. I went to bat for her just 2 weeks ago. So George has been going to Weldon.
Oh, that's right. Okay. That's right. Yeah.
And, enjoy the process, but she wants to do, so she's going into grade 12. And she wants to go back to her feeder school, which would be Fenland.
Right.
So she asked her mom. So you can imagine Michelle. You know Michelle. Mm-hmm. And Michelle's like, why would we do that? So then, right, I try to go up and see the kids every day when I get, right? Because they never come out of their rooms when they get older either, Pat.
Yeah.
I'm like, how are you? She's like, I'm really upset with Mom. And I'm like, oh, what this time? And I said, she told her I wanted to go to Fenland for grade 12. And she just shut me down. And I'm really upset. And I'm like, well, why do you want? And she said, all my closer friends are there. And I probably wouldn't even go to the prom at Weldon, but I'd go to the prom in Fenland. And I'm like, okay. Your mom and I are going away for a couple days.
Let me work on it.
Let me do my magic. So of course, Scotty got his way, and Georgia's got her scheduled today to go to Fenland.
Oh, good for her.
But but the other day I did something. She looked at me like, "Foolish old man," and I'm like, "You not remember what I just did for you?"
Give me that schedule.
Yeah. Tear it up. Send you bound.
I can undo what I have done.
It's probably more. It's probably hard work. Well, here's some foolishness, and I'll never, whatever. So she's currently enrolled in the school board, Trillium Lakeland School Board.
Yep.
All she is doing is switching schools. So what do you think? What do you think they required for that switch?
So
she's already in the system.
I would suspect that they would need, I don't know, student number?
So, birth certificate?
Oh, boy. In case she mutated into a different person.
Yeah. Immunization?
That they already have on record?
Would they not?
If you had to have it
for registration. Because it sure as shit, if she was missing something, I would have heard about it.
Wait. So now it makes sense, though. It makes sense because you told me a little nugget a week ago. This is done at the school level, not at the board level.
But Yes.
So who keeps the records? That tells me that the school keeps the records, not the board.
But wouldn't you not think it would be at the board level? And then I had to provide them either with a tax roll number or my water bill.
To prove that you live in the city.
I live in the appropriate section
area.
Right? Because,
we got to funnel your tax dollars over there. But it makes sense when you say that it's all done at the school level. Now it's that's why. But it does seem... But you can't call up and get somebody to email that to you?
I had to wait until they were there this week on Monday to talk to a real person at the school.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's done. My wife did it. So she's a great mom. I really had very little of the process. I just...
You just schmoozed everything over.
Yeah.
I tried to entice my kid to go to school, here, Finland. And he just, no. Not going to do it. Yeah.
All right. So, number 3.
We're moving on. We are now on to Riverhead.
So,
I like the can.
Yeah, I picked this up. Michelle and I did a little road trip to Kingston, and we hit 2 breweries. And this was something that they were doing and they were proud of, so I picked it up. The other one is from another brewery for another time, Wes.
Yep.
They like sours.
Oh, you're hurting me.
Yeah.
You're cutting me deep, Shrek.
So quench your thirst. Our best-selling Cerveza is back. Clean, fresh, light, and finely filtered. Lager with hints of lime from the use of carefully selected hops. A light lager with hints of lime from the use of New World hops. This lager goes down smooth and will quench your thirst. We call this a lawnmower beer. Easily enjoyed during and after hard-working days. 4.7 by volume.
4% ABV. Sorry, what? 4.7. 4.7 ABV. So a little bit more than the Corona, but not by much. Certainly, it's lighter than the Corona. This is the lightest of all three of them, I'd say, in color. I mean, do you think?
Hard to tell with all that lime juice in them now, Wes.
What? That little half a nugget capful?
Maybe the old dog was lighter, but I can't remember now. Your muddied lime juice has ruined it.
Got a good nose on it. I like that.
Much limier.
Yeah, so I mean they've got lime in it already.
Yes,
so.
Which they talk about. So we doubled up.
Would it be fair if I said so far all of these have just been... It's hard because this is a style of beer that I like. Oh, man. So they're all kind of serviceable.
It makes it sound like I've been serving them piss for the last 3 episodes.
That's not true.
But this is also... I also said you were so downtrodden on these sours that we're eventually going to do. But I said...
I'll do it.
And I said, this opinion of somebody that has not been a fan of IPAs, of stouts. Well, we haven't done stouts officially.
I guess that's coming soon.
Yeah, because the first episode was your beer box, which was very eclectic.
It was all over the place.
It could have been stouts. They were all heavy or dark.
They were.
But, so, I mean, if you think about that, and I said, sometimes as a casual beer drinker that may be listening to the episode, sometimes getting the opinion of somebody that doesn't enjoy what they're drinking and gives...
Does that weigh more?
Right. Oh, I like them all, but this is what I like the best. But they were all good. But,
So I think somebody who doesn't like a particular style of beer, I'd be like, oh.
It has to pick one and be like, well, I don't like those beers either. But if Wes says the best of the worst was this...
Well, we did... Yeah, and you're right. And on the first time we did this with the beer box that I'd had, we did kind of talk in that language. This might be the best of the worst
because it was just different stuff that we hadn't.
Yeah, it was. There was no theme to the night. It was just like, here's 4 different beers. Let's try them.
Yeah,
right. And we didn't arrange them in any order. It was just like, well, this looks nice.
Yeah. And we drank the black, the darkest. I mean, this table is light and compared how dark that beer was.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they were all biscuity.
That's true.
It's got some bite on the back end. makes me wonder.
All right, I'm locking that one in.
Makes me wonder what it tastes like with less lime. Oh dear, this is the
locked
problem.
that one in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How many of those did you buy on your trip?
2.
How many did we use? 1 tonight, or both?
1.5.
Okay, so you won't have to suffer through those again.
It wasn't terrible.
Not trying to lead your decision, your choice here.
Well, you know what? It's not.
You can always give them to Wes here.
Yeah. So, Pat, we haven't really seen you.
It's been a while.
Since
the
playoffs.
Start of the last
league.
lockdown.
Yeah.
Which was basically right when we finished axe throwing.
Yep.
That was the January league?
I think so, yeah.
Because we squeezed that right in before lockdown.
Yeah. It was the short league.
Mm-hmm.
So now
Maybe.
we are...
No. We had a full...
Was it full?
It was rushed.
7...
I feel like we squeezed everything in right at the end.
Yes. It was compressed at the end.
It's funny, though.
Well, we threw on the Thursday night, and then
That's
Sunday, I think, or Saturday or Sunday, we finished because it was shutting down the next morning.
Yeah.
Which is, it's funny because we were in a different health unit, we played longer. Peterborough actually just finished their league like a couple weeks ago, so they actually came back when things reopened and squeezed in the last of their games. They still hadn't finished.
Oh wow!
What we had done.
Oh, so that they're catching up from
correct because
oh,
Peterborough closed down faster. The second because they got
they couldn't hold their league.
So they got the orange and shut down.
I think all these people, these leaguers. I mean, are they as dedicated as like you? And do they have lanes in their backyard where they can, kind of stay frosty? You know what I mean?
I bet some of them do.
Some of them,
yeah, and some of them don't.
Like on a fun like
I got a target out of my.
I was gonna say, have you been
mother or sister? Well, I got a target out my wife's uncle's farm.
Yeah.
That. I go out to whenever
regularly.
I can.
Okay.
I was going to say, so what's that mean? Like every other week? You can
whenever I can find a good lunch hour.
Yeah,
on his lunch hour.
Yes, it's only like I don't know, that's maybe dedication. 5-10 minute drive.
Fuck, Pat's probably gotten better. I've probably gotten worse.
Are you going to Peterborough, Pat?
Yes,
you are.
Yes.
So Kim and I have been on the fence about.
I gave you a perfect opportunity to go. I posted something today.
Today. I don't think I saw it.
He's doing a
contest,
posting thing, and win a
league,
8-week league.
Yep.
It's not the money I'm worried about.
No,
it's
I know
the
you're
experience.
not. Mm-hmm.
And after the experience, and this is not to sour, Pat being such a good guest and coming out here, but as Scott and I have talked before, that last league and the way that certain personalities, kind of. Carried themselves really soured me.
From what I understand, those certain personalities are actually playing in different
leagues.
Different leagues, yes.
Different places or
different places.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
maybe there's still room.
The only one that I know, other than Scott, is Matt. But
okay.
But again, he'd never be playing in.
He'd never play in in a fun league.
No, exactly. And I think this is the nice thing when you get to a bigger club.
Yeah.
And you have more people and more skill level.
Yeah.
People are going to land where they belong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, right? He'll play in Thursday Night Black, which is the elite.
Yes.
And that's where he'll be challenged,
right?
And he'll have to play. And this is the thing, right? And there'll be no kind of mishmash of I'll throw left-handed and standing on one foot to make it fair.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He'll be busy trying to win.
Now I did hear through Carlo that if they don't get the numbers, they're going to have to combine both black and red.
Downer, Pat.
Yeah.
So that almost suggests to me like there's already. But if you're planning for it, then.
Or is this why he's offered free memberships to try entice another dozen people to join?
Did he not? Maybe should have done that with Lindsay.
He did, well, I mean, he did that with us. That's how we went first time.
That's how you ended up going. Yeah.
But again, maybe the numbers were better, and it's like you only give away so many free. I don't know what the return on investment is on. So what is it? $124 to play?
$142 after taxes.
Sure.
So there, you've given away $280 for me, and then if you gave away 3, so that everybody got to bring a friend. So what's the return on investment on beer they're going to drink? And then if you hook them for like us, and then we committed and we bought in to playing there and signing up for more leagues, right?
You got to charge enough to keep the lights on. Got to pay the rent.
Yep.
So
and that's an important part of any business, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is the struggle. There'll be people that don't come back because they're not comfortable with it yet. That it's still, not enough spacing, even with proper spacing and with masks. There are going to be people that still stay away. There has to be.
Even when they started up or restarted their previous leagues, some of them people didn't want to come back because of what's going on. You know, they didn't want to because they
for sure
afraid or they didn't want it to.
There's going to be people that are vulnerable. There's going to be people that just aren't sure from work perspective, things like that. Be interesting to see, right? There, you're going to have to show a double vaccine passport. Because if you have
sporting
to do
event,
right?
Sports,
and there'll be people that are choosing not to be vaccinated.
That's right,
which is cool. But again, that means you might not be able to participate in
unless they show a valid COVID test,
negative test.
Negative test.
Are you going to go get just to go through Axis?
No,
not my idea.
So you're going to go get really...
I've been vaccinated both times, so I'm
we all have.
I'll show. As long as it's once and I'm good for the whole season, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, that's it really, right? At the end of the day, anywhere, it's very interested to see how they'll implement a vaccine passport.
I've read
because at a restaurant,
the announcement they're looking at, and there's going to be issues with this because there's still a certain segment of the population that is tech averse. But they're talking about a smartphone app with a QR code that's tied to your immunization.
But
records.
To me, once I scan that at the keg,
Yep.
the keg should remember that I'm done, and I shouldn't. Right, all I have to do is show them something, and I don't have to be. Oh yeah, this is it. Here it is.
That's not going to happen.
I don't see that happening.
The onus is going to be on you to ante up every time.
Every time
with the big restaurants, I don't see that happening because there's so many people that are just going to be there, and
I guess it's liability, right?
For like gyms and stuff like that, they're going to be like, oh yeah, his stuff is on file here.
Yeah, maybe.
Boom.
And as a fellow retailer. And it's going to be no change to our day to day.
Well, right? Retail doesn't matter.
There's no.
I mean, right? That was why I told that story this morning at Tim Hortons. That you look at 4 people, and that is the cross section of the people. To a guy that thinks he's wearing a mask, but it's a fucking balaclava.
So here's the thing. Now, I don't want to make this about COVID, but you just brought up an excellent point.
Well, we are drinking Coronas.
I know. So you must show a vaccine passport for indoor dining. So take your Tim Hortons scenario, for example. Guy goes in to get a coffee and then turns around and walks out and goes to sit down in the dining room. Are they going to send a staff member out to check that guy?
I don't know. Or do they keep...
Are you staying, or is this to go? Here or to go? Catch them at the cash when they order it?
I guess if they
pretty much, I think that's what it's probably going to have to be.
Ask it for in a China glass.
Because they did it... They were asking, are you staying or going? And then they would take your phone number and... tracking.
If that's what they were doing already, then they'll likely go back to that. Yeah, so...
I never pay enough attention.
Lots of new... Well, no, because how rarely do I dine in at Tim Hortons, really? Oh, they're open late and I need a bowl of soup. Maybe. A couple times a year.
Still rather eat it in my car. But yeah. No, I don't know. It's interesting. So you've still been throwing pretty regularly. You put any chips in those fancy new axes?
No, not yet. I've actually got one in my basement that I am actually sanding down and getting it ready to shine up. I got to get it. Yes, myself.
Cool.
I got to get it.
Does this one also have Star Wars graphics on it?
I might do that.
Oh, nice.
Yes. I might do that, yes. I haven't really
Yeah.
thought about it, but I'm going to get it to a hardware store so I can get it sized up to an actual handle, and then I can weigh it and make sure it's within.
So this will be your big axe?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, because I'm afraid the one that I am throwing now, the Collins, might be too small where they measure.
Okay.
For the 3-inch or whatever it is.
So the whole new rigmarole.
Yes.
Now, do you think if we're throwing Thursday Night Red, you think they're going to care?
No, I don't think so.
But again, if you want to qualify to go to provincials, it's gonna matter later.
Or any tournament, really. If you go into any tournament, it's gonna matter then.
And why would you not throw the proper thing?
Well, I was gonna say, like, don't think you're gonna cheat your way through. No. You might as well throw what you're supposed to be throwing. Yeah. If you think you're gonna go competitive, get on the right path.
Look, I would just go to a tournament just to have fun, though, myself. But I know going into a tournament, there's gonna be a couple guys that are gonna be like,
I've seen you throw I've seen you throw under pressure. It's all about fun, eh, Pat?
Oh yeah.
Me too.
Well, listen, like, to me,
we stunk that day.
Go figure. For me, like, axe throwing is like curling, right?
Yeah.
I can go and I can have a couple of beers while I'm doing it, and I don't have to be super serious about it. And I don't want to be.
I want to sit at a table like this with 6 other people I like. Absolutely. And I don't give a shit about anybody else there, and I don't care. Well, it's me, so I do care how I throw.
Yeah. I was going to say, I know you well enough to say, yeah, you do.
But you know what? I could care less if I, like, win to you, lost to you.
Sure.
But yeah. I like to throw well.
Yes.
I like to.
Oh, we all do.
Yes.
We all do.
But again, at the end of the day, as long as I don't lose against anyone I shouldn't have lost against, I'm happy.
Listen, I did
like
a lot
me.
of that.
Yeah.
I did a lot of that.
All your games, as we've talked about this, are so close, and then it's like,
shit the bed right in the end.
Yeah. Which is tough. It's tough. So, final beer.
We're on to our last one.
Obviously, a little heavier.
Our good old friends back at the Fenland Falls Brewing Company.
I mean, they make everything. If you're not afraid to have a sip, they got something for you to sip on. So, this is their Mexican lager. I kind of giggle. This German-style lager made with maize and...
Wait. Did you just say German?
I know.
Mexican lager, German style.
But they do cool stuff like this, right? So
that's weird.
Yeah, it's sort of a spin, or what do you call it?
That could be why it's so...
Yeah.
Hasty,
maybe.
You know?
Yeah. So, made with maize and, another big word, torrefied corn.
Okay.
Light and crisp with notes of sweet corn and hints of lemongrass and cotton candy. Very easy drinking and smooth. 5.1.
5.1 ABV.
I mean, how can you go wrong?
All right, well, we've already said it's cloud. It's cloud.
Cotton candy. I love cotton candy.
Can you put that in your rum?
Cheers.
That's another episode, folks.
No?
Maybe it's just because of the other 3. If I'd started with this, maybe.
See, I think that tastes good. I think it's neutral across my palate. I don't think it tastes bitter on the end.
It has the least amount of bubbles of the 4 of them. And now that could just be because we've been sitting and talking for the last
and the funny thing is,
minutes.
It poured the foamiest.
Did it now?
I'm almost positive it did. 100%. It poured with the biggest head.
Okay.
Maybe I like this the best because it tastes the least like the other
tastes
ones.
the least like a Corona.
It's. I find that's my problem, is that I'm not articulate enough to tell you what I...
Yeah, I don't know. We've been doing this a few times now. You should have some language.
I know. Remember the first time? I'd be like, it tastes like shit. That was a good episode. I know what I don't like, and I don't like this. Yeah.
again, like I said, I like this style of beer. So to me, none of them are overtly bad. There isn't a bad one among them. But, yeah.
You've got preferences.
I absolutely do. And have we reached that point now? Do we, are we going right into the
voting? We don't have to go right into the voting.
I almost need a pen. Give me that pen back.
Oh, dear. Do you need your paper?
I need the paper back. I got to think about this for a second. Oh, boy. There we go.
It's tough. Wes puts a lot of thought.
I do. I have to. I have to.
It down.
I have to. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh. They all? Oh. Pardon me, kind viewers.
Wow. I got
So, Pat, what else is new?
Oh, I don't know. Hitting the gym a lot.
Where are you going?
Planet Fitness.
Have you? Sorry, and I don't want to sound like a jackass, but have you dropped some weight?
Yes.
Since the last time we saw you?
Yes, I have. So. I have.
Looking like you got some pectorals there.
I might have picked it up. The weight, not the pectorals.
Me too.
Well, maybe I did pick it up in the pecs. I don't know. My wife tells me I do not have man boobs.
That's kind of her to say that.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah?
She makes me feel better.
Do you believe her?
Oh, there's way too much hesitation there, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, right? My wife tells me she still loves me too. And I'm like, and then I walk by a mirror and I'm like, shit, her eyes are going. It's funny too. A couple shirts I've been wearing lately, I think I've been looking better in. And then she's like, yeah, but don't wear that one because you look like, right? She says it hangs off you like a tent.
Did I do that intentionally? I did not. I certainly did not mean to do that.
So you've been going to the gym.
Yes.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
You just, what are you hitting, like an hour?
About an hour and a half.
You're not doing cardio, are you?
No.
Oh, good.
No.
Can't fucking flex that shit, can you?
You can't flex cardio.
Can't flex cardio. No one wants. Oh, I can run a mile in a minute.
Anybody else want a pen and paper to...
Nobody cares. So you're...
Nope.
Just doing the machines?
No, actually, free weights.
Free weights, cool.
Machines. Bit of everything.
So you will have successfully earned one pass to the gym after sitting here drinking with us.
Uh-oh. Well, so I used to joke when I went to the gym more that the gym was allowing me to live the lifestyle
I can do more now.
On the weekends. It allowed me to do that without feeling guilty.
You and I are, well, maybe you, I am. I'm closer to 50 than I am to 40. So
I'm on the other side, bud.
Well, there
46.
you go. So I am, for everything I do, I pay the price for it. Quite literally.
Oh, you know who had a slow morning the other day after our signature cocktails?
I meant to talk to you about that. I genuinely felt fine. I was up.
Good for you.
I was up at my regular time. I was up and moving, and then the morning routine. And what came out of me was
we drank a lot of different things too, right? So we'd had a little get together, and I'd asked everyone to bring a signature cocktail.
Signature cocktails.
So, by the way, your creamer's still in my fridge.
I realize that. I hope you've been using it in your coffee because it's lovely.
No, you need to come and get it before it goes bad. Before I will ever use it. So Wes,
who doesn't like French vanilla in their coffee?
I got another story for you. Talking about vanilla.
Finish the drink
I got a story for you. I don't know. Pat might not think it's funny, but I don't know what him and his wife do on their spare time. So we had signature cocktails.
Signature drinks, yep.
So your wife brought a nice sparkling wine.
Sparkling wine with, oh my God, what was
orange juice?
And amaretto.
Yeah,
it was quite nice.
Lovely. You brought root beer.
Adult root beer floats.
Rum. And creamer.
A little bit rum, a little bit of root beer, and vanilla flavored coffee cream.
And I'm not a root beer guy, but I enjoyed it. It wasn't that bad. Didn't taste a whole lot like root beer.
But as I'd said, I'm the type of person that can drink Kahlua and milk by the gallon, and it doesn't bother me. So.
And then we tried to do a gin signature cocktail with tonic water.
It's a little off the mark.
The tonic water
A little off the mark.
struggled.
Yeah.
And more tonic water didn't make it better. And then we were putting in the wine,
That's the
wine
the
spritzer,
yeah.
and then we put in the orange juice. And
There's some of the sparkling wine left. Let's see if that changes the
better.
profile.
Makes
it does.
And then we finished with Dark and Stormies, which has been a good favorite of mine, which is just a alcoholic ginger beer with a dark rum.
Nice.
And then we finished with what? I don't know about
That's
you,
4.
but I think I had like a bunch of rum.
Oh, you had more rum, and I think I finished with I don't know. Did I have?
I'm sure you had a rum.
Maybe had another rum, and then I'm sure I went and got a Fresca.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, I had gin, grenadine, and Fresca.
Right.
Was the end of my night, which I like Fresca. It's light and fresh and refreshing.
It's the only way that I will consume grapefruit because I absolutely hate a fresh grapefruit. But yeah,
old people like grapefruit. We're not old people yet, bud.
Oh, thanks, man. That makes me feel better.
I don't know when my parents started eating grapefruit, but fuck that. You gotta get a little knife and fucking cut it.
Heap the sugar on top of it?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But you know what? I bet they stopped taking it because when they got, what's the pill you take? And grapefruit interferes. What? So as you get old and you start taking your pills, I think maybe your high blood...
Viagra? What?
Oh. Shut up.
Hi, Fred.
Either your high blood pressure or your diabetic one.
Metformin?
Whatever.
Sure.
So, but if you eat grapefruit, it interferes, it blocks, the citrus blocks something in the pill. So I think that's when my parents, whatever they started taking, I want to say high blood pressure.
Sure.
And they had to stop eating grapefruit because it interfered with the medication.
Oh, that's fair.
So old enough to eat it, but old enough that they couldn't eat it anymore.
All right.
And I hate you for bringing... I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad.
The blue pill or the red pill? There is only blue pills.
Only blue pills. I don't know what I'd ever do.
Blue diamond-shaped pills.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope I never, ever have to think about that.
You know, statistically, 3 of us in this room, statistically, one of us is going to get it, right? Statistically.
Well,
no, that might not be true. I'm just pulling that out of my ass. I don't know.
It's probably something like that.
There is a lot. It's a lot.
And it's also, you know what? And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that, and it's okay. And I mean, right? You can get that, like, right at the end of the day, we're probably more likely to have prostate issues than that issue, and then that issue creates that issue, right? Because as soon as you get a prostate, they start fooling around with that. That's bad because they're surgeons or butchers or whatever you want to call them. It's not a precise science when they go start removing stuff. So yeah,
the test for it though is a lot easier now.
Well, it's just blood work,
it's
right?
Only blood work now. Yeah. There is no more cough.
Anywho,
I wouldn't want that stump in my butt either. That's like a trunk. What is that?
No, it's not.
Look at it.
I have nice long fingers. I keep forgetting to put my wedding ring back on.
Hi, Michelle.
I was so we went back to school shopping. And I think I was Old Navy by the time I noticed. Oh my god, I don't know what my wedding ring is.
I went to put mine on the other day, and guess what?
Didn't fit.
My finger's too fucking fat. Oh.
Sodium intake. Probably more to do to that you're just bloated.
I'm betting, in a month from now, when it's like 10 degrees outside, it'll slide right on.
But you know what? I remember taking it off when I was making black bean burgers, so I know exactly where it is. But I didn't rush to put it on.
Yeah, I keep mine in my wallet.
Really?
And there's a story behind that too.
Well, please share.
I had my first wedding band was like $500 or something like that.
Okay.
Something crazy amount.
Are we saying that's reasonable?
$500? $500 for a man's wedding band?
Yeah, that's good.
Sure.
That's average. I don't know.
All right.
No stones.
I don't know.
No stones.
No. It was
just a band.
white gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Celtic braid
sure.
was actually dipped in white gold also.
Oh, yeah.
So anyways, I used to drive truck. I was driving truck for my brother.
Yeah.
I was climbing a hill, popped the turbo, one of the air intakes. So I'm off on the side of the road, doing a quick little repair, popping it back on, redoing the cap.
Sure.
Or the clamp, and go to clean my hands.
And it's come off.
It slipped off with the cleaner in the rag. And I, of course, like, once done drying my hands, the rag opened up, ring went down on the ground.
Through the engine?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Side of the road,
Ding.
somewhere on Highway 69, just south of Perry Sound.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Woke up the next morning, tore apart the bunk, trying to look for the thing.
Yeah.
Went outside of the truck into the little cubby hole where the toolbox is, looking in there, couldn't find the damn thing.
Never to be found again.
No.
Oh, man.
So I get home, sit down with the wife, tell her what happened.
Yeah.
Long story short, took me about quite a few years before she allowed me to buy another ring.
I mean,
this one is like a tungsten silver or something like that, or it's
like the tungsten carbide. Yeah. Okay.
And
the kind where the ring's not coming off, your finger's coming off.
Mm-hmm.
So she'd rather have you have it in your wallet than on your hand.
I decided to put it in my wallet because it too slips off when it's wet, or when my hands are super cold.
Right, you do a lot with your hands still, right?
Yeah.
I'd still be nervous with it in my wallet. I might be more prone to wear it on a chain.
Around your neck, yeah.
I thought about doing that, but also the fact that the chain slips out.
Yeah. It catches
on something,
do. So for me, it wouldn't be an issue, right?
That's why, talk about that. When I was overseas, and I'm a pretty hairy dude, my dog tags, the bathroom chain that it's on, would just rip the chest hairs out.
I took forever finding a chain.
Yeah.
I liked it didn't pluck.
Yeah.
And you know right away. So, why is that guy crying all of a sudden?
Yeah. It's I don't know. And I don't think I would. I don't think I'd tattoo, like you see people that put tattoo ring.
I wouldn't be able to do that myself.
I don't know.
Maybe.
But you see the ones
I know it's not.
They get a half of one.
I don't think it's all that pro.
They get the half and they can't do the other half.
Well, I've heard the reason why they can't do this part is because it wears out.
It's high wear.
Yeah, a friend of mine has one of the webbing of his hand. The webbing between the thumb and forefinger.
Yeah.
And the guy told him, like, just so you know, he's like, I'll do whatever you want. But he's like, if it wear it, like, that's a common spot for it to.
But I mean, you look at people with hand tattoos, and I mean, some people, maybe they're getting them redone. But I mean, some people, I don't think it never left. It's always there. Like, I know a girl with a mustache on her finger. And
so do I.
It's been there for a decade. Mm-hmm. So, and it looks like, I mean, it's not black as like new, but I don't know. Or you see a lot of people now wearing those silicone rings because they know they lose them or wreck them, or they're in an industry where
it's an easy replacement.
And it's never going to pinch.
Yeah.
Right? I knew a guy that was so bizarre at a hockey game, puck over so he's watching the game. Puck comes over the glass before meshing, and maybe a foot off his head, and he just like a baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, and hit his ring, and he had to go to the Ross to get it cut off. And he swore he would never wear a wedding ring again, and I don't think he ever did.
Really?
Yeah.
Loved hockey more than his wife.
I tried to take mine off because again, that's my catching glove.
Yeah,
playing goal. So to me, I mean, you get pucks coming in there at whatever they come in at. It's like fast. It's just better to take it off. And my ring's not even completely circular anymore. It's oblong because.
You bang your hands around.
Bang my hands around. Maybe I haven't taken it off, and I've taken a puck on it, and it's just. But I mean, have you ever? You would have, because of medical training. But I mean, have you ever seen an avulsion? Or Googled an avulsion?
I'd rather not, but yes. Oh, yeah.
And it's like you're taking your mitten off inside out, and the ring is your finger, and the
degloving.
Exactly.
I've seen them. Yep.
They're not. Yeah, and I think that and being on the fire department, I was like, maybe a silicone ring makes sense.
It's stretchy. It's compressible. It's for all those reasons.
It's just a symbol.
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be pretty and nice. It's just a symbol. Let everybody else know that you're taken. All right. I'll tell my story. I'll tell my other story after we vote on these beers.
All right, we're getting down to the business here now. All right. We've had our 4. We've had a chance to mull it over.
So starting at number 4.
Number 4. Want to go around?
Sure.
Pat, you want to go first as a guest?
Sure.
What's your least favorite? We're starting at the bottom.
I would have to say the Riverhead Cervezas.
Riverhead is your worst?
Yes.
Oh, boy. We better do some record keeping.
Are you going to?
I'm going to.
You're capable of this?
I'll try and...
All right. You can just put just put a little 4 beside. Here, flip it over, because I've already wrote all the names down.
Oh, you did?
So you can just put a 4 beside Riverhead.
So there's a number 4. All right.
And what was your least favorite?
My least favorite was Fenland.
All right.
Fenland for me. Scotty?
Corona.
That was predictable.
Because it smells funny.
That's predictable. So we got a 3-way split on the worst one. Not that matters, because we're going for the best one.
Yeah.
All right. So, sorry, guys. Sorry, Fenland. We know, this is what, twice they've gotten the shaft? Twice in a row.
That's just your bad vote. That's just you that doesn't like them. You don't know what
Oh, that's true. Let's wait till this is over.
Yeah. You apologize way too soon.
I can apologize for me.
You're Wes. You apologize all the time.
That's right. I'm sorry for being me. Jesus. Number 3.
You're on brand. It's okay.
Yeah, it's true. It's so true.
Number 3.
Number 3.
For me was Corona.
Corona at number 3.
Wesley?
Also Corona. Corona was my number 3.
So that puts them at the bottom end, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I keep saying them wrong.
Riverhead. Riverhead gets 1 for you. Okay.
And I liked it. But it was a little tart on the backside.
Oh, because of the extra...
I will never know.
I felt the same myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then that's getting down to wow. We're the top half now.
Right.
So, number 2, your second, Pat?
Was Fenland.
Number 2 for Fenland, and number 2 for me was, and I hate to say this, but Chihuahua was my number 2. And I've been drinking a lot of it. So,
and my number 2 was Fenland.
Really? Fenland gets a number 2. So that's 2 for Fenland. So that kind of puts it squarely in the second position. All right. And then, of course, the number 1 choice.
For me was Old Dog.
Old Dog, number 1. And it was a Riverhead for me. I actually
I figured you didn't like it because you were like all like
it had you
threw shade at it like it was, but the reason, how many did you buy?
I liked it because I threw shade at it on your behalf
because you thought I wouldn't like it.
Yeah. River. So that was the second one that we had, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and it had a little bit more. It had a little bit more carbonation.
Yep.
And I actually liked the amount of lime. Whether that's it had to do because it was lime in it, but.
Yep.
Yeah, it was that tardiness. I liked it.
You wanted that.
I did.
And again, Fenland, or not Fenland, Old Dog. And Chihuahua was now here's the thing, and I don't know where Fenland's, but right here, it's great. We've introduced a new beer to Pat, and he really likes it, and you can't buy it.
You can't even buy it. Can you get it? Can you get it in a growler still though?
I don't think it's on tap. I just looked tonight, and it's not listed as there.
But it was it ever listed?
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah. I'll, let me just...
All right, so it's official then. Tonight's winner in the number 1 position is Old Dog Brewing Company's Chihuahua.
Good job.
So, guys, if you're listening to the show, that's a clear indication that you should do another run.
Yeah.
Do another batch because we all like it here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
I came to the conclusion the other day.
Yep.
That I'm old. And we talked about me being old because of just my body and things are
You just said you're closer to 50 than you are to 40, just like me.
Are old or naive?
Both?
Yeah.
Old
So
and naive?
I was sitting with somebody the other day.
Yep.
And he's doing something on his phone. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm chatting up a 20-year-old. And I'm like,
where's this going?
I'm like, beg your pardon? He's like, oh, I'm talking up a 20-year-old. And I'm like, dude, you've got a child? You have a significant other. I said, just stop that conversation right there. And, don't be that kind of guy. And he's like, and he kind of looks at me kind of like butthurt, right? And he's like, well, I'm trying to, and he's like, line up something for the both of us. And I'm
what?
Like, and to me, I'm like, over my head. And I'm like, I beg your pardon? And we're in mixed company. And he's like, I'm trying to set something up for the both of us. And then it dawns on me. I'm like, oh, fuck. Dude's a fucking swinger. Oblivious to his lifestyle choices.
Didn't the oh my god, that's completely gone. Didn't the Lonely Island call that one? It's not gay if it's in a 3-way.
Right. Well, I think it would have ended up girl guy.
Oh, same thing. It's not gay if it's in a 3-way.
Right. Yeah. But just oblivious to that's not what we want. We want their website. Sorry. I got to tell you what Old Brew's got on.
Yeah, what's on the menu tonight?
But yeah. Just showed how vanilla my life is. So just talking about stuff, and I just was like, oh my god. I could not even. I didn't think that was the way the conversation was going. I was automatically like, man, you don't need to be talking to a 20-year-old. You've got, a beautiful little girl. And I said, you have a lovely significant other. I don't think they're married. And I get that. In this day and age, not everybody chooses to have a traditional relationship or that you need to be married. And you don't need to be married to be in a loving, committed relationship. But I just never thought that he was lining up a little bit of extracurricular fun for the both of them. And then when I did, I fucking went red. I was like,
oh, yep.
Oh,
I'm like, oh,
lining up the old unicorn.
Oh dear. So currently on tap at Old Dog is Yellow Lab.
Yellow dab.
Yellow Dab. Single Malt Scotty. Dog Days. Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Wheaton Kings.
Yeah.
British Bulldog.
Oh, did we try that one yet?
We should. I wouldn't tell you that it's in my wheelhouse.
No.
But
fair enough.
We should. Test run of Rum Raisin Ale.
Test run.
And a test run, which they've had this before.
Yeah.
The Cinnamon Ale.
So what happened to the, did you get Dog's Breakfast on there?
It's not currently on tap. In cans, not on tap.
Oh, so it was made just specifically for canning.
They started with it on tap.
Yeah.
So what they do is I think they do the test run and do a couple kegs, and then they have it of guessed on the taps. And then if it does well on the taps, they'll do a canning run.
Yeah.
And such a smart business model because, easy, right? You do a few kegs, you've got them stored, they keep.
Yeah.
And then, and if people want to take it home, they take home their little 1 liter growler. And if you get good push through, you're like, well, maybe we should do a run of cans. And I don't know where the price point is, or whether you make more selling it on draft, or whether you make more selling it in cans.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. That seems to be their their model that they kind of push it on the taps and then do the switch if it's popular to put it in cans. And I think they rotate what they're doing in cans too, right?
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but it occurred to me. This is something we probably never really talked about. You provided all the samples tonight, Scott. Now, we've talked about pricing, and that as we're talking about Old Dog specifically, because we drink a lot of their stuff. Pricing there is fantastic.
He has kept it very reasonable.
Super, super fantastic. Do you recall of the 4 tonight, which one was the most expensive?
Let me see. You guys talk about something else.
No, something else.
All right.
All right. So, Scotty did not have any great beer stories when I tried to talk him up about his good beer stories. So, as we were talking earlier, you've sort of been a beer fan sort of all along. Mm-hmm. Do you have like a great memory that you associate with, like, oh, I was drinking a beer, like whether like I've been to some like really awesome concerts where, like having that beer was just that extra little bit of like, yeah, I just added to the moment, or you were doing something with your friends or your family. Any good beer memories?
Oh boy. I got a few actually.
Sure.
Now I don't recommend this to anyone.
That's a great way to start.
Very young or anyone at all to do. Cutting grass.
Oh, yeah,
and
cool.
Every lap we did around my parents' house or front yard.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, their front yard is about 350 feet.
Oh.
And we had to finish off one beer. And
a beer per lap.
Beer per lap. So as you got smaller, you were faster. Chugging back those beers.
That's a fun game, Pat. I like that.
So wait. So you're doing this with your brother?
I'm doing this with my brother, my friends. Like my brother and I hung out with a lot of the same
kids.
Friends.
Yeah, sure.
So, and my parents' house turned into the party house, more or less. Bonfires and everything.
Yeah.
So we would start off early Saturday.
I see the connection here between the responsible use of alcohol with your dad. I see who's...
And how it got out of hand.
Pat had the cool parents.
Yes.
So wait, you've got a lawnmower. Now, is everybody... So you would do a lap and then you hand the lawnmower off?
Yes.
Or...
We would hand the lawnmower off, and it was a riding lawnmower.
Oh, nice.
So...
Put it in neutral before you jump off.
Pretty much.
That's a whole other story.
Needless to say, the lawn never got finished.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Or we would have to finish it the next morning.
Oh, wow. That's good.
But yeah, we would... That's one that would always stand out. And actually, another one that just got reminded me was building a snow woman.
Oh.
With beers.
Not a snowman.
Nope.
A snow woman.
It turned out to be a woman because the snowballs got way too big for us to put on top of each other to make a great big snowman.
Yeah.
So...
2 smaller snowballs stacked up?
Nope. 2 big snowballs.
Yeah. 2 snowballs wide. 1 big one on the bottom and 2 smaller ones on top. Oh, ladies, I hope you can appreciate the humor of that.
Anatomically correct. Oh, dear. So, as it sits here...
You got the results there?
Yeah. So, now Old Dog was reasonable. Can you remember?
3 something a can.
Okay. So, at the cheapest, and this is just dividing their 6-pack.
Yeah.
By 6.
Oh, yeah, of course.
$2.37 for Corona.
Oh, boy.
What did you say? 3
something.
Anyway.
I don't remember.
In the $3 range with Old Dog.
Yeah.
Fenland, dividing their 4-pack.
Yes.
Is $3.15.
Okay, so they're comparable.
And Riverhead was $5.75.
$5.75.
Now, that also was, I couldn't find per bottle. That was a pint, so that would be more.
Oh, 1 pint. So your cans are what? Four something. I can't remember.
I could not find a per can price.
Yeah, if we can't get the same volume,
it's tough.
Then...
And I have not been keeping track.
So I would say that it's just the question I've asked for now.
You know what though? It's very poignant because some of these, but everywhere I go, because we talked about this when we went on vacation.
Yeah.
I mean, I came back with 6 beers from here and 6 beers from there, and it's just like it doesn't matter, because I'm buying them no matter what.
Yeah,
and I'm not really paying attention because at the end of the price doesn't
You're buying
matter.
the beer because you want it.
Yeah, it's an experience or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do remember at this one where I got the sours in Kingston,
they're
serving them in like the taller bottle, and I thought, that was expensive.
Right.
But again, you're getting so much more beer. You're getting like a beer and a half or almost 2 beers.
Fair enough.
In those tall bottles. So,
like, is it a true pint then? Maybe.
Probably. Yeah. I'd have to look at the thing. Riverhead. Oh no, that's seltzer. Oh dear. 12-ounce glass. What's in a beer? 5 ounces?
8 ounces, I believe, is a regular beer. I can double check that for you.
So $3.50 if you're dividing their. So a 16-ounce glass is $7. A 5-ounce glass is $2.50.
If it comes right down to it, now with the Riverhead being more expensive is because it's a larger volume that you're looking at.
Yes.
So if we extrapolate that down to the other size, we're going to say that they're all relatively comparable within $1 of each other. So that's pretty good then.
But I mean, and it's always reasonable when you're sipping 1 or 2. I find it's when you're buying the 6-pack or the case, and none of them sell it by the 24 because it's premium. It's
would you?
It's craft premium beer.
No case break at.
Well, that's always been the thing with Corona, right? If you go in and
is it cheaper if I buy 24 than if I buy 6?
For the longest time, it wasn't.
No,
it was like, man, you're paying for 6-packs. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like 4 6-packs, and that was the price, and it always was a premium cost to it. So I find it funny that it's actually the cheapest one. Because I always thought it was the most expensive. I bought a Boss once, a case, and it was like for a 2 for it was like.
Well, this is what I can't get over. It's like some of the beers that we drink here in Canada a lot, and I'm a big one for import beer. That's no surprise. And so I've been drinking a lot of Stella, and I mean if you look up Stella and sort of the origins of Stella. We pay a premium on it because it's an import beer. Mm-hmm. But it's like the Canadian of
yes.
Yeah, there. You know what I mean? Like it's just a regular brand. It's nothing special.
No.
Yeah.
Same thing with Corona. It's nothing special. Like in Cuba. 1 peso.
But it's funny too because no matter where you go and you're like, oh, I love this, and you get to where it is, like, it's like getting a Foster's in Australia.
It's nothing.
Mm-hmm. No.
Nothing.
Like, why are you drinking a Foster's?
Because I'm from Canada.
I'm like, I wanted the full Australian experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like...
Man, I told you my story about when I went down to North Carolina and I took some beers with me.
I know we've talked about the trip. I don't know if you told me you took beers.
I did. I took got a couple of Canadian, couple of blue. Right. Like here's the big Canadian brands, right? Because our typical Canadian. And then I got some of the local stuff. So at that time it was Creemore because Flying Monkey didn't exist. So I got a couple of Creemore and took those down. And even my buddy Tim, who was from the States, when we were drinking the Canadians, and he was just like, meh. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how we are about it too.
Yeah. But the big thing is, like Bud Light or Budweiser here is a 5% beer, and down there.
Bud Light shouldn't be. It should be 4.5.
Well, or Budweiser or Bud Light.
Full Bud would be 5 for sure.
Yeah.
But I think theirs down there, I knew people that did horses, and they always they were big Budweiser people.
Yeah.
And
draft horses, by the way.
Of course.
There you go.
And they always said when they came up and drank the Canadian version, they got drunker.
Drunker.
Mm-hmm.
I think somebody's a little drunker right now.
More drunk.
Drunker. Is that a word?
Fuck you.
I love it when you make up words. I love that shit. Kim does the same thing, and I tell her it's awesome.
Listen, that was like the time I was doing the hockey play-by-play, and Michelle made fun of me because I was talking about the...
Were you in the living room? Or were you at the arena?
No, we were watching it after the fact. And I was talking about the play.
Just put a microphone in front of you. And,
yeah. And I was talking about... It was that Travaris hit in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And I was talking about like how Perry came through, and I was talking about the play in the past tense.
Fair enough.
And I said played.
Played.
If you watch I'd like to see the played.
Oh, instead of the play.
Oh. And she's like, that's
what?
Right. And if we called her right now, she probably could tell me exactly how I said it and how I did it wrong. And I'm like,
and what's your number? We'll call her right now.
I said, sounds good to me.
I'll call her right now.
Yeah, go ahead, call her.
Sure, I'll call her. She's probably even home.
Yeah, we want to talk about Scott and when he was talking about the hockey play, you know. but in the past, and see what she's. I think it's played.
Who was the player? Tavares?
Yeah, when Tavares got hit by Perry.
Right.
First round.
Yes.
When the Leafs suck.
Michelle's phone.
Sweetie, you need to use your telephone voice.
You what?
You need to use your telephone voice.
Why do I need to use my telephone voice?
Because we're sitting here drinking beer and it would make us all feel better.
Oh. Okay.
Michelle, it's Wes, and you're with us here on the show. So Scott's just been telling us a story here about commenting a hockey game that you two were watching where Tavares took a hit, and he was commentating in the past tense. Do you remember what he said about the hit? Or about the play?
No.
Oh.
He's got the look of disappointment in his face right now. So we were actually...
I'm sorry.
It's okay. We were just kind of poking fun at him for making up words in the English language, and he thought that you'd be able to shed some light on that.
I probably could have, but yeah, I've got no clue right now.
Okay, well, that's fair. So he said that he was commenting in the past tense, and when he wanted to see the play again, he said that he wanted to see the played, as in played in the past tense.
That sounds like something you
said. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, sounds like your footage.
Oh, that was it. It was footage.
It was footage. You don't want to see the footage. You want to see the footage.
That was it. I wanted to watch the old footage. Thank you. Yeah. It was footage. That's totally a word, by the way.
I feel like this is an episode of Mythbusters, and I should be saying myth confirmed.
It was. See, I had already forgotten what the word was, but it was footage.
Footage. Okay.
Because it was a photo in the past, so it's footage.
Well, thank you very much for taking our call. I will send him home shortly. Okay, we will talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes, so I wanted to watch the footage from before.
The footage.
It's totally weird. What do you call it in the past? An old photo. What do you call it?
An old photo. You know, but if that's where your brain is, it just, it's a very... Man, you are a psychology experiment waiting to happen.
Fail.
If I just start leaving pieces of candy around, want a piece of candy?
I'd eat it all.
Piece of candy.
I like it.
Piece of candy.
I like it. This one looks like it's been licked.
Ooh, piece of candy.
All right.
Oh boy. That brings up some fun at work.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who don't really know me, I detail cars for a dealership in Lindsay.
Yeah.
Do you want to give them a shout out? Or not tonight?
Sure, why not? Polito Ford.
Right.
Anyways, so usually, if we find old candy or something like that in the car or truck or whatever we're cleaning,
I can only imagine.
It's
piece of candy.
I'm usually the one that'll do it, and I'll turn to the other and say to the guy I work with, or
piece of candy.
Hey, you want some candy? You want some gum? You want
a piece of candy?
Wow, Scott.
And I went before COVID. We had Honda working in the bay next to us.
Oh, right.
Before they expanded their
their
facility. Anyways, I almost got one of their guys with it.
Piece of candy.
And
Would you have ever eaten it before?
no.
No.
Isn't there a story about a Dorito or something?
Arrowroot cookie.
Arrowroot cookie.
I would have.
Oh.
And you know what the funny thing is? We saw something on the floor the other day. And
At
I'm like,
work?
mhm.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll eat it.
And nobody called you on it.
And somebody had the common sense to be like, what if it had been from somebody that had COVID?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Mhm.
wow, you just sucked all the fun
What
out
if
of
it was dusted in fentanyl?
Yeah.
You ever think about that?
No.
Are you going to now?
Well, right? You guys have sucked all the fun of eating candy off the floor.
I'm going to start throwing... I'd throw food around at your house, but the dogs would get to it before you did.
Probably.
Same
yeah,
as at our house.
And she's like, oh, maybe that's not such a fun game to play anymore with COVID. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess you're
Wow.
right.
COVID, the fun sucker.
Yeah, I'm like, another way it's ruined my...
Yeah.
No, I can't eat food off the floor anymore.
But, yeah, I totally, I had no problem. Fuck. If you gave me enough money, I'd eat a piece of gum off the bottom of the table.
Well, fortunately, I know exactly where this table came from, and I can tell you there is no gum on the bottom of it.
But yeah, that's back in the day. Now it's like, oh, maybe that's not such a good idea. Or now, as you say, right? You don't know with all those crazy things.
Listen, I don't want to make a commentary about the city that you work in, but it is the city that you work in.
Right?
Yeah.
It is Peterborough, and it's only getting worse. And one last story.
Yeah.
Our next door neighbor got broke into the other night.
What side?
Connolly's. So the automotive, the backside, the Consilla.
Yes.
Somebody came. Well, maybe I shouldn't be talking about it because it's currently in front of the courts.
Boy.
But man, that guy came in, snipped that fence line, stole what he stole.
Yeah.
I'm like, unbelievable. Left some stuff over in our space. And
Right.
I'm like, what's that doing there? So I run the tape and I'm like, oh shit, they got robbed.
Did your cameras pick up anything?
Yeah.
So,
So we kind of went over and talked to Kim, and he was happy to take. I said, I'll provide the cops with whatever I can do.
Whatever they need.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So hopefully they catch the dirtbag and charge him. And the nice thing is when you're stealing automotive parts, it gets to be that theft over
Yep.
whatever the
5,000, I think.
5,000.
Yeah.
And you might get there
You
depending
could get there
on
pretty fast depending on the parts.
Yeah. So, which is all the better because then they can
But
lock them up.
they're a collision center, so that's a lot of auto body.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll tell you off air what they stole.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
But yeah. I mean, I was flabbergasted that on a Thursday night that's Wednesday, Thursday night that's what's going on in Peterborough. But it's getting so bad. And then I got a couple good stories for off air.
Okay, fair enough. Well then,
but anyway,
let's move on and we'll get to that. So before we get going here, one last thing we like to do here on the show, Pat, is as we do with every guest, if you have a side project or a shout out that you want to do, something you want to bring attention to, whether it's your own social media platform or somebody else's or something you believe in, let us know what's going on in your life, and more importantly, let our listeners know.
Well, I think I mentioned it before. Is my polishing of axe heads, all types of metal, really.
Yeah.
Trying to get into that, and so.
Do you have an online presence where people can find you and sort of see your work?
Not right now.
Okay.
but you're getting there, right?
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I'm getting.
Oh, that's cool. So you want to start getting into customizing and polishing. You want to be the polish guy. Have you ever seen the polish guy on Instagram? And he's like, he polishes anything chrome.
Okay.
Right.
So you can imagine when he does the video,
Yeah.
just black is black. And
Yeah.
you got these
Oh,
little,
yeah.
these little
Of
white-
course, of
so
course.
he's
Yeah.
like, he's polishing Airstreams. He's polishing.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's the guy that actually did my axe. If it's the same guy,
Right. But yeah.
He goes by King of Bling, I
Oh,
think.
maybe.
King of Bling.
And all you can
Okay.
see is his big old white teeth and where he's got his goggles and his respirator. And,
Yep.
and the rest of him is
That's
it's funny.
that's common with guys that do all the type of polishing.
Yeah. I was
Stainless
like oblivious.
steel,
I'm like,
chrome,
yeah.
aluminum.
There's a lot of dust.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it does.
Mhm.
I mean, a side story, not to take away anything, but it's like even for us in the military, polishing brass. And I mean, you look at the rag when you're done.
Yeah.
And the rag is
It's just black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, I want to say thank you for coming out here tonight and joining us, and for not making the voting not a 4-way split.
It's awesome, right? Really split it up well. I like that. It was clear and concise, which is what we're looking for. Simple.
If we ever, oh Jesus, I pulled my headset off. If we ever get around to doing a round of champions, which may or may not happen at some point, maybe we can count on you to come back and do this again sometime.
Oh, for sure.
Right on. So, you know what? That's it for me, guys. I'm Wes. Guys.
I'm Scott.
And you've been hanging out with the Barbershop, and we'll catch you later. Bye for now, guys.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for hanging with us at the Barbershop. You can find us on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Please like and share us on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter to stay up to date on all of our shenanigans. Hangin' at the Barbershop is a Sawcast production.